to share. Good evening, everybody. I hope that you all are doing well on this wonderful Monday. We are back with another Selfish Talk with Chanel. And if you didn't know, I am Chanel. I'm super excited to be with you. My name is Chanel McCoy, and I'm the CEO and Clinical Director of Oasis Wellness Group. And I am super excited to be here today for another Selfish Talk. Before we get started, what I need is if you are watching, I need you to go ahead and I need you to share the stream. I need you to share it if you're on Facebook. I need you to share it if you're on YouTube. Let everybody know that we're here. And I'm just going to give it a second just to make sure that we allow some people to get in. So I too am sharing. And so I need you guys to join me and I need you to help me out right now and share the stream. Tonight's conversation is going to be some really good conversation. I'm super excited about it, quite personally, because I got my cousin on here, y'all. I got my cousin on here. It's a family fair tonight. And so I am sharing. I'm going to make sure that everybody I know gets in the room. So give me a second. Let me share it to my page. And y'all just come on in the room. When you come in, let me know that you're here, that you're watching. Drop a little comment in the chat and say, hey, I'm here. And then we are going to jump in because tonight's conversation is going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm super excited about it. And so listen, while y'all are sharing, while y'all are coming in the room, I'm going to go ahead and briefly introduce my guest for tonight. I'm super excited. Like I said, y'all, this is my cousin, my baby cousin. Okay, this is my baby cousin, y'all. Which is crazy for me to say because I still think I'm young. But anyway, this is my baby cousin, and I'm super excited. I think, Brea, am I like 10 years older than you?
You
Like
will. It's okay. I'm turning 30 in 2 months.
she's turning 30 in 2 months. Lord Jesus, and I'm getting closer to 40. So we ain't gonna even talk about that. But I'm super excited. Go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hey, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me now. Chanel. Chanel to me, but
It's good.
Chanel
Listen,
for the,
it's
for the
good.
street.
Because I'm
Thank
probably
you for
gonna call you
having
cousin the
me.
whole time, so it's good.
Okay, I'm good with that. So a little bit about myself. I guess I'm coming from the nonprofit space, a political background, government background, to now corporate girly, working in finance for a Singaporean investment banking firm. And right now I'm just an executive assistant for a large team.
Mhm, mhm. We're gonna talk about that. One of the
Okay.
things that has inspired me about you is I've watched your journey in your career. And there's been a journey in your career that I think that has been so amazing just to see where you are now and how you were faithful to your process and you didn't give up on what you wanted because you know what you wanted to get you to where you are now. So we're definitely going to jump into that because that has a lot to do with the conference. Oh, I didn't tell y'all. Brea is one of the panelists at the Rhythm of Life Women's Wellness Conference this year. And we know that the panel topic is the selfish fight. And we're going to be talking about all things the fight for self-care in different spaces and in different sectors. And for my cousin in particular, I've seen her fight her way through her career to get to the level of success that she's at today. And so I'm super excited about that. We're going to touch on it a little bit, but the reality is you have to be at the conference in order to get all of it. So go ahead and just register and sign up. If you have not signed up for this conference yet, I really don't understand why you are not registered. Last week, I gave a 10% registration code. I'm going to drop that for y'all again today. So you can go ahead for the first 10 people and get 10% off of this conference, but you need to be in the
Ooh.
room. So tonight, we are talking about the soft life. We are talking about the soft
What
life.
is that?
Right. Exactly. That is the question at hand, right? And so, first question for you, how would you define it for you?
Ooh, okay. Can we just start with saying that I just learned what the soft life
Okay.
is? I
Yeah.
literally just started implementing practices that kind of are the soft girl or soft life
Mm-hmm.
trend.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm coming into it, I think the soft life to me is like doing whatever you can to take care of you mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I
Mm-hmm.
define it for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's interesting that you define it that way, right? Because there's a lot of controversy over what whether it is actually possible to achieve a soft life. Like, does it
Yes.
exist? Is it even possible? Because I think we hear the soft life and we define it as the non-problematic life, as the
Mm,
life that's just going to go exactly how I want it, exactly like everything's just going to line up. But that's not
mm,
how you define it. You
right.
defined it as a process of self care. You
Definitely.
defined it as a process of self care. And so,
Yes.
what is your definition of self care?
Definition of self care for me, I guess, is one, I start off as simple as like a bedtime routine.
Hmm.
So having like routines habitually that focus on like how I manage myself. That's the definition of self care for me, is like just implementing small things to help me manage my day to day. And that
Hmm.
could be spiritual, mental, physically. That's how I would define it.
Is it a process of, for some reason, when you were talking, I get the sense that it's this process of being organized. Like there's
Yeah.
an organized, routine, structured, almost kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as I can do small things each day to keep me on this like organized routine, that's
Hmm.
self care for me. Like I feel taken care of when I'm organized.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I think that is so good, because I think one of the things that messes us up as it
Mhm.
pertains to self care is like we feel like there's so much, right? There's so much to do. There's not enough time to do it. I don't know how I'm ever going to get anything done. And the task seems so surmounting that we become paralyzed. And so we
Very
become
true.
paralyzed and we do nothing, right?
Very
We go
true.
from I have so much to do, then I do nothing. And so what happens is then the tasks just keep piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up. But what I hear you saying is, I'm working in such a way where I have routine, I have structure, I have organization, so that I'm able to still be productive. I'm able to be successful. I'm able to get all of the things done, but I'm not seeing necessary. And it doesn't mean that this is a perfect, like this happens all the time. Like every
Right.
single week, Brea is on it, and Brea is never
No, it
disorganized,
doesn't
and
look like
Brea is
that at
never
all.
like,
No,
it doesn't mean that, but this idea of staying as organized and staying as on top of things as possible, so that I don't become paralyzed to production. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. It's exactly that. Like I have reminders on my phone. I've set reminders like time for prayer, time for alone time, bedtime.
I
Like
love that.
literally as simple as that, just daily reminders letting me know, okay, this is the time that I need to take aside and like tend to me, tend to the things that I need to get done in the day or the things that I want to do, and like
Mhm.
really be reminded of it and see it.
I
And so
love
that
it.
has really helped me setting time aside.
I love it. What kind of reminders, like, tell us the reminders for yourself, right?
Yes.
Because I used to do that as well, especially in spending time with God.
Hmm.
Like I had, for the last 3 years, I had a reminder set, and I guess the reminder, I don't know if it like expired or whatever, but every morning at 7 a.m. it was read your Bible,
Hmm.
right, as a way to like keep me organized. And I find that that's a great way. It's just a great way to keep certain things at your forefront. So what kind of reminders have you found that you have to set for yourself?
Literally the ones you just mentioned. So I have like a 5 a.m. read devotional. And
Hmm.
then I know after I read my devotional, then I get ready for my day, get ready to go to work. When I come home, I have like a 6 p.m. read your Bible. And then I
Hmm.
have 8 a.m., 8 p.m. just unwind and rest, like take some
Hmm.
time to myself to kind of decompress from the day. And then I have a 9:30 bedtime. And 9:30
Hmm.
bedtime really just means like start to really wind down, like turn
Hmm.
some lights down, dim the lights, maybe light a
Yeah,
candle, lay in bed after I've
yeah,
showered and like did all the things.
yeah,
And then 9:30 is like you're done for the day. So
yeah,
just keeping myself aware of like
yeah.
when I need to do certain things to pour into
Hmm.
myself.
Yeah. So hold up, I want to go back to something. You
Mhm.
just said you schedule rest.
Yes.
I hope somebody is listening. She schedules rest. And I'm assuming because it is part of your reminder system, that's a daily thing that's in your schedule.
Yeah, that's a daily thing.
That is so powerful right there, because one of the issues I find, especially like in focusing on and talking to women in particular, it's not being able to find the time to rest. And one of the
Mhm.
things I say to my clients consistently is you're never going to find time to do the things that you really want to do. You have to make it happen. You have to make the time. Like, you're not going to find the time to go to the gym. I just have to decide that I'm going to make it happen. I'm not
Yeah.
going to find the time to go on vacation. I just have to decide I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's so powerful in your saying, I literally schedule my rest in, and I remind myself, okay, this is the time to wind down, put your feet up, do whatever it is that you want to do for this time period, so that you make sure that you have a daily opportunity to actually get some
Mhm.
rest. How faithful are you to following that daily schedule?
Honestly, I give myself about 80% in faithfulness to it. Sometimes I fall out of it or fall out of alignment with it because something came up and I have to like attend
Hmm.
to it. And then, but for the
Hmm.
most part, like my friends know, don't call me after 9:30. Like I love y'all, but this is
I love that.
definitely my rest time. And I've learned like just in recent years that the most successful people, the most healthiest people have bedtime routines. They go to bed at a
Mm,
certain time, wake up at a certain time, and as I've implemented it, I've felt different. I feel differently. Work
I love
feels better. So,
I love that. I literally love that. Even the part when you say, my people know after a certain time, don't even hit me up. And if you do hit me up, just know you're not getting responded to. I'll catch you on a different day.
right.
I think that's so important, because then that speaks to boundaries. It
Mhm.
speaks to, right. And so as we're talking about this topic, this subject of the soft life, I hope that those who are watching are catching it, right? You were catching that this soft life isn't necessarily an unproblematic life. It is literally steps that you are taking to make your life more manageable for you, to attend to you, to make sure that self care for you is at the forefront, and you're doing everything that you have to do to take care of yourself, right? Like, that
Love
is the
that.
soft life. And I think what happens is we get so caught up in social media, right? Because when you see the soft
Okay.
life on social media, you see the girls floating around in their silk robes all the time, and it just looks like all I'm
Mhm.
ever doing is putting my feet up. But we have to remember, people only show us and give us insight into the highlight reels of their life. Like, they're not
Yeah.
giving us insight into all aspects of their life. And so when I think about this idea of the soft life, I think about this idea of, what am I doing to create softness around myself? What am I
Mhm.
doing to create a life that's not as chaotic and problematic? Because contrary to popular belief, it is very much possible to have a life that is not always chaotic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think I'm thinking about soft life a little bit differently. For me, soft life is a goal. It's an achievement. I feel like the things
Love
that I'm
it.
doing daily are like
Mhm.
ways to get to the soft life. Like I don't think I'm there yet. I think I'm
Mhm.
taking small steps to obtain the soft life.
I love it. I love it. And I wonder if it's one of those things like self care, it's like an ongoing journey.
Oh, definitely, because we're not taught what self-care is. We're really like finding out after we done
Right.
had the panic attacks, after we have had terrible sleep routines, after we have had a lot of issue with, with procrastination. I think we
Girl.
end up landing in this like self-care space once we realize the way that we were doing it was not the right way or like the best way for us. So once we start
Mhm.
like making small adjustments, then we kind of find our way into this
Mhm.
like self-care space, and I think
Yeah.
that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's important. And I think that that is probably why a lot of people don't think that they can achieve it. Because I think
Mm.
some people get stuck at the panic attack, or get
Mm.
stuck at the trial or the difficult aspect.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm stuck here. So it's just not possible, because I don't
Right.
see another way. But what you're saying is,
Mhm.
I've been there, done that. I had the panic attacks. I was
Mhm.
miserable. I was living unfulfilled. But then I decided that I wanted to see something change. And so I did something about it. And as cliche as it is, nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, this is what
Literally.
we all have to understand. Like, even when people come to therapy, therapy. I love working with my clients. I love doing therapy. But one thing I tell them all the time, nothing changes if nothing changes. I don't actually have a magic pill that I can give you that your life will switch. I
Yeah.
am simply partnering with you in your life to help you to come to some decisions and some conclusions for yourself so that you can make the change. If you don't actually make the change, then nothing, then yeah, the soft life is not possible because you're not
Yeah.
taking any steps that you need to take in order to achieve it. So what I hear
Yeah.
you saying is, I've been there, I've done that, but I decided that this ain't it, sis. Like, this is not what I want. And so then I'm going to turn a corner. For you, what was that pivotal moment or that
Mhm.
turning point for you? Okay, like something has to change.
Literally everything you just said, self discipline. When I realized that I needed to have self discipline to achieve the structure
Mm-hmm.
and the self care routines that I really wanted to like implement throughout my life. Because one, I'm also thinking like when it's time for me to meet a partner, a life partner, a husband, right? I want for him
Mm-hmm.
to have structure. I want for him to be organized
I
in
love
such a
that.
way. And I feel like I need that in my own life in order to
Mm-hmm.
attract that. So those are some of the things that I kind of, thought about when deciding how to structure my life and kind of enter this self-care girly
Mm-hmm.
world. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I thought about. But self-discipline is the toughest one. And I think a lot of my friends, like millennials, we talk and people don't have bedtimes. And it's weird to me. Like when I hear like people just kind of, go about their day and their night and they fall asleep at whatever time. I'm just like, you don't have a bedtime routine. And they look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, listen, a bedtime routine, something as simple as a bedtime routine will
It's
change
so
your
good.
life.
It's so good. It's funny you say that. Okay, I gotta show y'all this. So I love me. I have a passion planner. I have a passion planner.
Ooh.
That's the planner that I love. I love me a passion planner.
Why
And
you
one
tell
thing,
me you was gonna pull out props? Hold on.
and one of the things I do with what I love about the passion planner is at the end of every month, it forces you to do a reflection of your month.
Mhm.
And literally down here, it says name 3 things that you can improve on this upcoming month. And outside of my eating habits, I put go to bed by 10 and be off the phone by 10:30. Because I'll get into bed, but then I'm scrolling and I'm doing all these
Yep.
things and I'll look up and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And so literally one of the reflections I had for myself this month was literally that. Like, okay, I get up in the morning, I go to the gym at like 7 in the morning. Sometimes I'm at the gym at
Mm.
5 or 6 a.m. or whatever, but it's still a struggle that I'm dragging the rest of my day. And I'm like, okay, what do I do proactively? Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing when I'm at home that I can't get in bed at a decent time? Sitting
Right.
up, shooting the breeze, watching TV, like whatever the case is, it's like, no, I
Yeah.
am determined that this month I'm going to train my body to get the rest that it needs, right? Because the more rest that I get, it helps in every other aspect. It helps with the weight. It helps with your stamina. It helps with, your ability to be productive and focused and
Mhm.
all of the things that's necessary so that we can be successful, right? Because I
Literally.
don't just want a soft life. I don't want to just sit back and oh, my husband's gonna take care of everything or whatever. Like that's good. Like, listen, I want to be a kept woman. Let me rewind. Marcellus McCord, if you are watching, please know and understand. I want to be a kept woman. So you could pay all the bills, boo. You could do all the things. But I also know that I'm a woman that's about success. And
Yeah.
I have dreams and I have plans and I want to be able to pursue them because what happens is we don't realize the biggest dream killer, we'll say, is other people, whatever. The biggest dream killer is us not positioning ourselves to achieve the dream. I'm too tired. I'm too tired.
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
I'm overweight and I'm sick and I don't have the stamina to do because there are seasons when I was building my business, when I was building my practice, there was a season I had to be on go mode. Like I had to be in order to
Yeah.
build it. You know what I'm saying? And that means that I had to be at a certain place to be able to do that. Or I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Now I have staff, now I'm working for myself full time and all of that. But that took a stamina to
Right.
be able to do. And so just this idea of like, I love that idea of a bedtime. And it's something I always thought about, but I literally wrote that down this month and said, I'm going to be intentional about making sure that I organize myself and I get my behind in the bed at a decent hour. How has
I
that
like that.
changed things for you? How has that, once you establish a bedtime, what changes have you noticed?
I've noticed that I feel better when I wake up in the morning. I have less brain fog at work because a lot of times I'm carrying or multitasking a lot throughout the day at work. And I realized when I wasn't getting enough sleep, I was coming to work and like not remembering things or just kind of dropping the ball in certain areas where I was just like, I know I'm better than this and I know I'm like able to really
Mhm,
do this role. So I
mhm.
really just I said I need to go to bed earlier so I can just feel better, show up better, feel more confident, look better because when you're well rested, you kind of glow a little
Come
differently.
on. Come
So
on.
I feel a little more productive when I get the rest that I need.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. And I find little things, right? When I get the rest I need, I get up in the morning and I give myself margin of time.
right.
When I'm not rested, I'm rolling out of the bed right up against the time that I gotta be out the house, right?
Yeah.
And so what I've learned with me is when I'm rested and when I'm intentional about these things, I give
Mhm.
myself margin of time. So I can get up and maybe sit down for 20 minutes and watch the news. Or I can get up and make sure I drink my water or have my protein shake that day,
Yes.
right? Or like when I shower, I like to lay all my stuff out. I like to lay all my clothes out. I like to lay my
Yes, me
lotions and stuff
too.
out. And I like to sit down on a bench at the end of my bed and I
Yes,
like
and
to
lather up. Yes.
listen, all of that, because for me, that's a matter of self-care. Like I love to do
Hmm.
that. I love to just take my time and then after I put my lotions on, just sit there, let my body dry. Not, oh, I gotta let me hurry up and get in the shower. Oh, let me
Yeah.
hurry up and
I
rub
hate
some lotion
rushing in
in.
the morning. Oh my gosh.
Right. It's the margin of time. And we don't, how you start your day. I was the school therapist for a while. And one of the things that I would always contend with the staff, with the students, is how these students start their day always determine how the day was going to go.
Mm.
Always tell with certain students if we was going to have a good day or if we was in for a fight by the way they walked through the door when they got off of the bus.
Mm.
And the way they walked in the door when they got off the bus was a good indicator for me on what went on at
Yeah,
home. It
that
was a
makes
good
sense.
indicator for me. It was a good
Yeah.
indicator. Like if it was a soft morning and you got dressed and mom said I love you and you got on the bus, the students would just come bouncing in and smiling. But whenever it was a rough morning from the door, from the bus ride,
You'd be able to
and it's the
tell.
same, it's the same with us. How
Hmm.
we start our day will determine how the rest of that day looks, period.
Agreed.
For you, I wanna switch gears for a second because I want to give the people just a small foretaste. I don't want you to give it all because we're gonna talk about it
Okay.
at the conference. But I
Okay.
want to give a small foretaste, a
Hmm.
quick synopsis, overview, if you will, of your journey in your career and what self care meant for that journey because it's been a journey, child.
Okay. How do I give that in a small smidget? I'm gonna try. Okay. So let's take it back to 2019. I
Mm-hmm.
was working as an executive assistant to Al Sharpton,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at the time making $45,000. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this isn't gonna cut it. I'm not feeling fulfilled. I'm not feeling I wasn't feeling challenged enough. Like I'll
Mm.
explain more at the conference what that experience
Yeah.
was like.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling challenged. I wanted a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more money. So from there, I just decided that I was going to step into a career that I had no insight on. had never experienced, which is
Mm-hmm.
the world of finance. And
Mm-hmm.
finance is a whole nother language
Yeah.
than nonprofit social justice organizations. And that's
Yeah.
all I ever knew.
Yeah.
And self care at that time meant spending time with family, just enjoying the small things because I think the roles that I've had in the last couple of years make it difficult to take yourself less serious. I'm just constantly taking myself too seriously because of the work that I was doing. And
Mm.
so, some experiences where you can just let your hair down and enjoy the right now was
Mhm,
something I really needed to do during that time.
mhm.
Also, just looking like the role I wanted.
Yeah,
And what that
tell me that.
means it sounds crazy to say, but for me, I hadn't figured out what my image was going to be. And at the time, moving from social justice into finance, I wanted to figure out what that looked like. And
Mm-hmm.
so I needed to look like the role I wanted. And I guess that meant keeping my nails done, keeping my hair done. I mean, I was
Yeah.
doing those things already, but I think I needed a little certain pizzazz
Mm-hmm.
walking into finance.
Mm-hmm.
The women that you see in finance, first of all, you don't see too many women of color. So I knew I needed to represent us in the best
Yeah.
way.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
So the women that you see in finance, they're just, they have a certain decorum that I hadn't had yet because I wasn't groomed and I was, in a different environment. And so when I finally got to the finance space and I started to kind of look into those things, I guess appearance and finding a mentor, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
finding a woman female mentor in the finance space
Mm,
that would really like pour into me and kind of show me the ropes. Because
that's
when you're
huge.
going from one role to another role that you have no knowledge of, you never experienced before, you really want to lean on someone that's going to guide you. And so
Yeah.
that's what I had to do. That was self-care for me, was really just finding a mentor, finding someone that would, pour into me and saw me being teachable, and that really helped me. So self-care.
Mentorship being self-care. That's powerful. Go ahead. Continue.
I mean, can we say that? Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like I feel like that's needed, especially because there's not too many mentors out there anymore. I don't find that. I mean, I've had a lot of work experiences and have had to bump my head several times before
Mhm.
learning something, or, sometimes people want to see you fail. And I feel like
Yeah.
when you have a mentor, they prepare you for, certain things, or they try to show you the way or what they've done to get to a certain point. And once I found that person, I was like, okay, I have somebody that I can kind of share my experiences with, somebody that's going to
Mhm.
groom me, somebody that's going to teach me, that's going to show me what this decorum is, that I needed to kind of find myself in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think whew, you said so much. But that mentorship as a form of self care, I think is so powerful on so many levels. One, it shows that you weren't afraid to ask, right? And a lot of us are afraid to ask. We don't want to ask because we don't want to
Hmm.
look like, I don't know. We don't want to look like we're weak or something like that. But
Yeah.
it is a form of self care to ask when you need help. Like
Hmm.
it's a form of self care. And it's a form of self care because now you are going to skip some difficulties and some roadblocks that you probably would have had to go through on your journey because now you have this mentor to tell you, okay, Bria, don't do that. Try something different. Look at this. Consider this perspective and all of that. And so that helps you to skip a lot of difficulties. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like standing on the shoulders of giants is one of those
Yeah.
things. Like I get to stand on your shoulders because you did all of the roadblocks for me. You did all of the hard work for me. And so I think that's so powerful. And so for everybody watching, I want you to consider about how mentorship could help you in your self-care journey.
Hmm.
Who are some trusted people in your life? Like for Bria, that was career, but is it your health journey? Right?
Hmm.
Is it I don't know, is it your marriage? Is it your relationship? Right? Even in that, even in relationships, mentorship
Oh,
is
yes.
huge, y'all.
Hmm.
Mentorship is huge. Even as a married woman of almost 10 years now, I have
Ooh,
marital
go
mentors.
Stelis. Whoop,
Listen,
whoop,
okay,
whoop.
I kept him around for another year. We'll see what next year brings. Now I'm playing, but
Don't do that to my
we
cousin.
have mentors, and our mentors come by way of our pastors. That
Yeah.
if they see something, they're not afraid to call a meeting or pull us into the office, or we can go to them and say, there were times, and my husband, no, he
Yeah.
didn't like it, but there was once or twice I went to my bishop like Bishop, and he tripping, and I don't know
Yeah.
what to do with him. You know what I'm saying? And my mentors were able to step in. And so I think that's so powerful as a form of self care. If you don't have mentors, go out there and get you some mentors. It'll
Yeah.
change your life, especially because you talked about such an abrupt change from social justice to finance. That's
Yeah.
like we're talking about two different worlds, two different mindsets,
Completely
right?
different.
Two
Yeah.
different mindsets. But now you're in a place where you're thriving. You're in a place where you thrive in. Can you talk about, you ain't got to tell them all the business, but
Okay.
you said you started out with $45,000. You're not quite making $45,000 anymore. And you're
No,
living good.
I am. I can
Okay,
talk about it.
sister's vacation and also I'm gonna let you go ahead. Tell your story.
Yes. Okay. So, when I left, can you
Uh-oh.
hear me and see me?
Yep, you're there, you're back.
I can't hear you anymore. Oh, that was my alarm. My spend time with God alarm. It just went off.
You can't hear me?
No.
You can't hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Better. Perfect.
Here we go.
Yes. Okay. So Chanel spilled the beans. Like I was making 45,000 at Al Sharpton's office, and then went to this investment banking firm, and I made six figures, my first six figures at 28, which was a blessing because I did some research, and women of color, the numbers are very, very, very low. And I wish I was prepared to like talk about that piece because I would have
Mm-hmm.
brought the stats on that. But
Mm-hmm.
the percentage of women, African American women making six figures in New York in general is extremely low. And so for that, I'm humbled, but I also feel like it's an experience that has led me to want to push that for other Black women and showing them ways to achieve it. So
Mm-hmm.
with landing this role, it's put me in place or position to talk about my hiring process and doing my career development work that I do on the side and helping
Mm-hmm.
people get their resumes together, helping them walk through their cover letters, walking them through their hiring process has really been a part of my passion work to put people in
Mm-hmm.
position to get the coin.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I love it. I love it because you achieved that at 28 years old. I know some 50, 60-year olds who still have not even come close to being able to achieve six figures in their career.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about with all the time, but you talked about positioning. You
Yeah.
talked about walking the walk, talking the talk. You talked about even recognizing what needed to shift with me, even with my image and all of the things. And then even when we get back to the self-care piece, you even structured your life in such a way to be able to invite this in. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think that that is so huge. So first of all, kudos to you and congratulations to you. Like I am,
Thank
as your
you.
big cousin, I am super proud of you. Like I am super proud of
Cousin.
you for not giving up on that journey for yourself and deciding what I want and what I'm gonna and then going after it
Yeah.
unapologetically and making it happen no matter what. And then this aspect of, and now I want to pay it forward. I want to help other people to be able to do this because I'm not just, okay, I made it, that's it. It's like,
Mhm.
no, there's more room and space for more of us out here, for all of us out here. So let's
Mhm.
all go out there and get the coins, okay? Because
Literally.
contrary to what we want to believe, there's money out there. This is not what this live is about.
Okay.
There's money out there, y'all. Don't
Okay.
let these organizations and stuff fool y'all. There is money out there. But
Mhm.
listen, Brea, just as a, as we begin to wrap up here, what is one or two key takeaways or points that you would give to any woman who's out there and they're working? They say, okay, I hear this soft life aspect and I want to learn how to get my journey started. How do they get their journey started?
Okay. I want to give advice that's realistic and
Mm-hmm.
transparent. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I would say think about all the time that you spend in your day and what you're doing during that time. So if it's social media, nowadays we have like this thing, I don't know if it shows up on your phone now, but like my iPhone shows me how many hours I spend on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it could be a huge embarrassment. But I would say to that, if you see how many hours you're spending on social media or things like that are just completely just not important, I would repurpose that time. And when you repurpose that time, you could either pick up a book, you can even pick up a Bible, do something that's a little more like I guess a little more, what's the word I'm looking
Productive.
for? Yes, productive. A little more productive. start doing that at least twice a day, three times a day, or I mean a week. So like
Mhm.
put your schedule together, try to organize your time, repurpose your time, and do things that are more productive. And then implement something as small as a bedtime routine. If you do that for 1 week, you set a time that you're going to go to bed each night for 1 week, compare it to the week prior and see how you feel the week that
Mhm.
you've set bedtime,
Mhm.
and just
Mhm.
kind of look at that and make small changes from there. Once you set your bedtime, then okay, next week I'm gonna set the time that I wake up, like a time that you're gonna consistently wake up each morning so that
Mhm.
you have enough time to make your coffee, you have enough time to have breakfast before you get to work. Like small
Mhm.
changes. Just make
Mhm.
those small changes and you'll start to feel way more productive. You'll start to show up more.
I
And I
love
think
it.
those small things will help.
I love it because you talk about these idea of small changes to lead to bigger impact, right?
Yes.
Because oftentimes what we do when we know something has to change, like I think about like the whole weight loss journey, and y'all already know I'm so transparent with y'all about my weight loss journey, so everybody already know. I've
I'm
been up
struggling
and
too.
down. Listen, I've been up and down, and I'm up
Yeah.
again, okay, and I'm working on it. But one of the things is when I get to a point like when I'm just so over it, I'm like, all right, some got to change. And so I'm only
That's some
drinking
change.
water.
That's
I'm
some
not
see
having no
change.
sugar. I'm not eating no meat. I'm not
Yeah.
having no carbs. Like, and I'm sitting around thinking I'm going to eat ice chips and that's going to be fulfilling. And we try to strip everything away at one time. And what happens is when you strip everything away at one time, you're going to binge. You're going to go back to the thing and you're going to binge and you're going to find yourself in a worse position. And so what I hear you saying is take it one small step at a time. Set the bedtime routine and work to be consistent. And I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock every night. That's it. And once I do that for a week or two. Okay, cool. I'm good on a bedtime routine now. I feel like I have a flow. Now, let me add in my wake up routine. Once I get a flow with that, now let me add in, drinking a certain amount of water a day. Like, let me add in, reading a book. But allow yourself to walk into change slowly. Whenever something is gained quickly, it is lost just as quick.
Yes.
Hear me.
Very true. Ooh,
Hear me.
you
There
said
are
that.
statistics on that. Lottery winners. 70% of lottery winners are broke within a year of winning the lottery. Why? Because they did not do anything to gain that wealth. And so there isn't a mindset to manage it either. Now it's like, oh, I got this, so now I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna get the
Hmm.
big house. I got $3 million, but you forgot the government gonna have to take half of that, and then you buy a $500,000 house. Like, listen,
Discipline. Hmm.
Listen, anything that's gained quickly is often hard to maintain. Why? Because the work that we put in order to learn, in order to process, in order to make it routine, it teaches us to appreciate the things that we have. So small changes to lead to big impact later. Small changes to lead to big impact later. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, cousin, thank you so much for joining me on tonight's podcast. And I'm super excited for next month. At the conference, it's going to be phenomenal. Listen, everybody, I am dropping the conference link in the chat. If you have not signed up for the Rhythm of Life Women's Wellness Conference, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, I'm not lying to y'all. We are working to create an amazing experience. It's already amazing because we're having it at a local community college. If y'all know, we're having it at Rowan College at Burlington County. It's going to be amazing. We are working on I have some dynamic speakers that are coming. We all are getting lunch. Y'all gonna get self-care workshops. We're working on trying to create a whole experience. I'll let y'all in on this, but I'm working on having a DJ there, right? Because we want to have fun. Like, we want to
Oh.
make this a real thing. Like, we want to make this a fun experience, a real party. If you have not registered for the conference, I need you to go ahead and register now. $99 for general admission, $139 for VIP. With the VIP, not only do you get all of the general sessions, there is a special VIP luncheon with a special VIP speaker, and that is Minister Keon Magic, and she's going to be talking from the subject of selfish rest. which listen, all of us need to rest. So listen, I'm telling everybody, go ahead, sign up for VIP. You also get the conference t-shirt as a part of your swag bag for being a part of VIP, and some other goodies to go along with it. So listen, go ahead and register. Go ahead and register. March 18th is the last day to register VIP. So if you plan on coming and you want to be VIP, you need to go ahead and make that happen now, because March 18th is the last day. And
Do
so
it now.
I did this last week. I'm going to do it again and I'm going to drop it in the chat. Nobody took me up on my offer. The first 10 people
Oh,
to go and register for the conference, and you use code selfish10, you are going to get 10% off of the registration rate that you choose. The coupon code dies, it expires at 10 people. So listen, y'all, I don't know what you're waiting for. You might as well just go ahead, get your ticket tonight. And here's what I'm telling you: if you got friends, if you got cousins, make sure your mom is in the building. Like, we are looking for 100 women in wellness. Can y'all imagine being in a room with 100 women who are on fire for their wellness? Like 100
amazing.
women
Amazing. I'm
who want
excited.
to make some changes, 100 women who are
Hmm.
ready to see their life shift and to embrace their wellness. You have to be a part of this. And here's what I'm gonna say: if you can't go, buy a ticket and gift it to somebody. Everybody
Hmm.
knows somebody that needs to be at this conference. Everybody knows somebody that needs to embrace their wellness and go to another level. Go ahead and do me a favor, purchase the ticket for them and just gift it to them. Say happy birthday, say Merry Christmas, say happy anniversary, whatever it is. But listen, go ahead and sign up. Again, VIPs, you only have until March 18th in order to sign up. Make sure you get in there where you fit in. It's going to be a phenomenal conference. And y'all, listen, I'm super excited. Like, I don't want to spill all the beans, but we have some things that are coming out the conference. I'm just gonna drop retreat, and I'm just gonna leave it
Oh,
there.
oh,
Luxury.
oh.
Luxury, okay? Luxury, and I'm just going to leave it there. But you got to be at the conference in order to be in the know. I know that I'm hosting this conference, but if anybody knows me, I love everything mental health. I am so passionate about
Yeah.
seeing people embrace their wellness, especially women. So you are guaranteed that you are going to come into a life changing time. Last year we had 65 women in the building. This year I
Oh,
want at least 100. The building can, the auditorium can hold 350. Okay, so if we get 350 in the building, I'm good with that too. But I want 100 women in wellness. So go ahead and sign up for the conference. Like I said, Brea is going to be one of our panelists this year. So I'm super excited. From top to bottom, it's going to be a party. Okay, we're gonna have a good time. So I want to thank you again, Brea, for joining us tonight. For everybody who's watching, make sure you go ahead and register. Go ahead and share. If you're watching this later, make sure that you drop replay in the comments. Let me know that you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions, ask us the questions. But as always, I'm super excited. Next week, I'm going to be back with another dynamic speaker. So stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping more information about that for Monday night. And it's another one of our panelists for the conference. Listen, y'all, we're not playing games here. It's going to be phenomenal. So make sure that you stay tuned to Selfish Talk Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. as we ride our way into the Women's Wellness Conference with our theme this year being selfish. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and remember to stay selfish. Bye, family.
bye. Thank you for having me now.